Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Homeschool Minnesota. My name is Dayle Annand. I'm here to tell you that if you are listening to this on like Spotify or Apple, like you normally do in the car, you just need to stop it right now. Wait till you get home and put it on YouTube because you want to see the wonderment that is Dr. Fizzlebop. I'm telling you, it is fabulous. And your kids are gonna want to see it. This is one for your kids to get involved in. We have Brock Eastman, Dr. Fizzlebop with us today. You guys, I'm so excited to talk to him about just what his stuff is and who he is and his 4 new books that are coming out. We'll talk about those in a minute. But first, I want to welcome Dr. Fizzlebop. Welcome.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you for having me today. I am ecstatic to be here. In fact, someone say fizztastic. It is such an honor to be here, get to talk about some really super simple books that I think will really help kids grow in their faith.
I'm so excited. Okay, so I have a set of these books and we will be giving them away. So you have to listen
Woo!
to find out how you're going to get those. But these books aren't out until December 2nd. So they're new.
Right.
And this is what's so cool about them. I hear from you guys all the time that you want preschool things. These are preschool board books for science. Your kids, I read these to my grandbabies. They loved them, and I just want you to know that these are great books. So this first one is Alphabet and Animals. Yep, there it is. And then we've got Weather Science.
Yeah, I got my weather one.
Yep. And then we've got Colors and Counting.
I didn't practice this beforehand, Dale.
I know,
This is
me
gonna be
neither.
good.
And then we've got Space Science.
Right.
All right. The thing that I love about these books, you guys, there's so many good ones, so many good things. The things that first of all, it's fun just reading them. They're interactive, they're engaging, they're super colorful. But here's one thing that I love. I'm going to get the space one out because I love space. Space is like one of my favorite things.
Yes.
But the thing that I love about it at the end for you and your kids to do, and this is where just gets so good. We have a science project that you can do with your kids. Something that you can take and do and talk about. It goes along with the story, with the book. And then also at the very, very end, there's a whole like QR codes that you can get. Dr. Fizzlebop is with Focus on the Family and with Tyndale Publishing. And so there's like QR codes that you can access that have a lot of other good information for you as the parent, as the teacher. Things that you guys can do together. I'm so excited, Dr. Fizzlebop, that you did this. Talk a little bit about why. Why did you want to do board books for younger kids?
Yeah, well, Dr. Fizzlebop is all about helping kids grow early on in their faith and connecting this marvelous world that our Creator made for them to that faith, to our faith, and helping them understand that, really behind all this cool design is a creator, an amazing creator, an intelligent designer who made everything work just how it does in order to make our world the way it is, including you. So I want babies to learn at a very early age, 0 to 4. That's what we typically say a board book is for, right? That they're learning science concepts and connecting it directly to their faith and the God who loves them and uniquely made each and every one of them. So it was a very kind of easy next step. The Faith and Science with Dr. Fizzlebop, you see it right behind me. That's the 52-week devotional for families, like 8 to 12-year-old. I mean, families really can be way beyond 8 to 12-year-old. 52 experience fun for all ages. Some of them are a little more challenging, but we want to start kids earlier so they can work into that and they can start to build on that. And this is the best place to start.
Absolutely.
And they're so simple. And I'll pop this up because this is not Dr. Fizzlebop, this is Brock Eastman, but I had a board book called Bedtime on Noah's Ark that I did with my son, Declan. And it was such a fun, I didn't ever think I'd write any board books. And what the takeaway from moms and parents and grandparents have been for that book is my kids now have a bedtime routine to do. They read Bedtime at Noah's Ark at night. They brush their teeth. They give me a hug. We pray together. And that book is part of a routine every night. Yeah. And I thought, that is lovely. While these don't have to be read at bedtime, they can be used during the day. Yeah. There's experiments. There's so much fun stuff. That idea of mom and dad, parents sitting with their little one, learning simple concepts and having that moment, that's what I want. And you've heard me talk in other instances and other interviews as Brock Eastman that the most important thing you can do as a parent is spend time with your kids and around a book. And we want to ground that in faith and help them learn science concepts they're going to learn out in the world that someone might tell them, no, you can't be a believer in God if you're a scientist. That is absolutely false. Absolutely. False. Know that our science is created by an intelligent creator. So, sorry, there you go. I hope that was a good answer.
That's a great answer. Well, we've been talking a lot Brock and Dr. Fizzlebop about how it's important to just really get them grounded in their word and in the faith from the time from the cradle all the way through. And so
Absolutely.
whenever you can get that foundation going deeper and deeper and deeper, and the earlier you can do it, the better chance you have of them just really grasping their walk with the Lord, and how things like weather can be
Yep.
that it's not just something that just happens, that it's designed by a creator to keep our earth going the way that it's going. Weather
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
important to understand. And so you have an experiment for us about weather.
Yeah, I sure do. So this
Yeah.
one's super simple. And it's funny because you mentioned the space one. These are fun, and I've already done a little bit of the work since we don't have a
Yeah.
ton of time on here.
Yeah.
But this is a really great experiment for you to help your kids learn about the water cycle. And this experiment is in the back of the book.
Yep.
And so it's a STEAM project, meaning it also includes artwork, right? And so that's fun. So it's really simple. Everybody's got a 1 gallon freezer bag at home, right? And so you're going to take your gallon bag and you're going to draw this kind of cool scene with a cloud and some rain, the sun, and the ocean. And so there's an art project involved, right?
Yep.
And then all we have to do, and I didn't bring my blue dye, I apologize, I meant to. It's fun to add a little bit of blue food coloring to this. But all you do is add water into your bag, just like this, okay? We throw up our ocean. I like to add a little blue food dye because it makes it a little more fun. But I did color it, so there it is. And then you seal it up nice and tight. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually just take some duct tape or some packing tape and tape it to your window, facing inward with the sun behind it. And as your kids watch and go throughout the day, they're going to see evaporation begin. And as the heat heats up the water in here, it'll evaporate, and you'll see condensation then form up here. That cloud is condensation. And when that condensation all collects, the water will drain back down. And so you're actually seeing the water cycle with evaporation and condensation and how our water moves through our world.
Yeah.
It's simple. And what's fun is by putting it on a window in your house, kids can walk by. It's active, meaning it's constantly happening. They can go by and see it every day and say, "Oh, Mom, look, it's raining." Yes, we created rain. This is how the water cycle works. And so it's simple, super simple experiments like this that make these books really fun
Yeah.
and help kids connect science every day. And so when they're seeing that as part of their life with you and you're explaining, well, that's evaporation, they start to point out in other places. And you're driving down the road and you see a lake and you're like, you know how that lake came to form? There's some rivers and streams, but guess what? When it rains, that rain fills it up. And then when the water evaporates from that, it goes up into the clouds above you. And so you can take what you see in your house as a science experiment and explore it outside in the big world around them.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it super simple and fun.
And I love that, Dr. Fizzlebop, that you don't use, you use the words that the kids would use, but you also use words like evaporation and condensation. And
Absolutely.
and I feel like that's just so important, even especially for young kids, to learn the right terms of things. And yes, of course it's rain and all this other thing, but using words like condensation makes them start to think scientifically, which I think
Yeah.
is super important. And as a homeschooling mom, I really love right terms to be used, because I
Yeah.
think it makes our kids start to it elevates their thought and their speech, and we want
Absolutely.
that as parents, right?
Yeah.
You
And I think
also
even
Go ahead.
so, yeah, even you're absolutely right. It is important to use correct language, right, and
Yes.
correct words, and that helps kids grow. And even though you're like, they're so little, they don't understand that repetition. Their little minds are working, and they're taking in those words. They're hearing you say those words, and they're taking that in your voice. All that is so critical and important.
Yeah,
So, can they
so
spell
good.
condensation at 3 years old? No, but that word is starting to build in their mind, and they're going to recognize it
Yeah.
later when they're in science class or doing
Yep.
something else, and even in college, right?
Yep,
So, good
exactly.
foundation.
It's just something that they've always just used, and it's not a foreign word to them. So, again, I'm gonna go back to space because I really love space. I just think it's so cool. And so you also have an experiment. Yes. I like this one. It looked like so much fun. I wish I would have had time to do this with my grandbabies. They would have loved this. This one
Next time.
especially, my husband is really known for making really amazing and interesting paper airplanes with our grandbabies. And he
There you
makes
go. Yeah.
like just all like, what if we did this? What if we did this? He just likes that kind of thing. And then they throw them and see who gets further. So this kind of reminds me of that. So talk a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this one's fun, and we provide something for you. So this experiment is, again, it's super simple, and there's a website in there you can go to actually download some
Yep.
fun rockets. We have like 8 or 9 on there that kids can cut out, or you can draw your own rocket too as part of STEAM project. Draw your own rocket and then cut it out. So all you're gonna do is cut out your little paper rocket, and then there's 2 kinds of straws, right? There's these big straws that we like for boba tea. I love boba tea. I don't know about you, Dale, but I do love
Yes, I
boba tea.
do.
Or you can call it a milkshake straw. And then we've got a small straw. So we've got a thick straw right here, and we've got a small straw. and you're just going to cut off maybe an inch or 2 inch length of your big straw and tape it to the back of your rocket and seal the top. So you want to seal the top so the air can't escape, and then leave this open. Then you take the straw, you stick it in, and here we go. We can only do it once because it's going to go somewhere in the room. So we take it and we go, and away the rocket goes, and it
I
flies.
love that.
And
I
what's
love it.
so fun is you get your kids lined up, mom and dad make your rockets, you all line up and you launch your rockets at the same time. And what we're learning a lot about here is about air pressure, actually. And the air pressure that builds up in here and then releases the rocket and powers the rocket. This is an air powered rocket.
Love it.
And so it's just those kind of fun concepts that you can learn
Yeah.
about propulsion and things like that when it comes to space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you mentioned your website. So talk a little bit about the resources and things that are found on your website.
Yeah, I mean, my website has a lot of different things. I write a lot of fun stuff. I write middle grade books and devotionals and board books and picture books. And so there's a collection of things that you might find on there, from free devotionals to downloadable activities to mazes and crafts. For Dr. Fizzlebop, we have some extra experiments in there. So in this book, there's experiments we call Fizz Extras,
Mhm.
and means there's just other extensions. We like to do some extensions to take it one step further, and you can go on there and download those for free. You don't have to have the book to download those or enjoy those. Same with the board books. Some of
Yeah.
those extra experiments are on there. The resources are on there. And then, of course, it connects to my YouTube channel, which I know you wanted to mention. Those
Yes.
videos are on my website too. So if you go to the website, you don't want your kids roaming YouTube, they can click play on those, and the videos will play on the website, which makes it a little safer. I mean, it can't guarantee commercials won't pop up depending on your program,
Yeah.
but it does protect your kids a little bit more. That said, it's really about resources, helping parents have the resources and tools that they can go home and not only just use my books, but just use reading and experiment and activities together at home.
I love that. Your YouTube channel, I browsed a little bit on there. It is so fun. There's a lot of good stuff on there, and I love that it's very. Are those your children that are on there with you?
Most
Oh
of
my
them, we have a couple
gosh.
with their friends, but yes, the kids that are on there over and over again, those are my children. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just so much fun, y'all, because it's Dr. Fizzlebop and a child doing these experiments together, interacting, using proper terms, not just dumbing
Hmm.
it down, but really talking through the actual science of everything. But in
Yep.
such a fun, engaging, great way. And and I love that, it's science for younger kids, but also you go all the way up through middle school. I mean, it's not
Mhm.
just younger. This is your first like real foray into science books for preschoolers. Am I right on that?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yep. We do some experiments in the Fizzlebop ones that are definitely geared towards that upper elementary, middle
Yes.
school kids. Like we have a tower, a 9 tier tower of liquids. It's not an easy one to do. So I actually had my oldest and her best friend do that one. It was super fun. It is simple for a parent to do,
Yeah.
but it takes time, right?
Yeah.
And process. So
Yeah.
there's all levels of
You
experiments on the YouTube channel.
I love that. I love it. And so, there are days like, okay, so I live in Minnesota, and I talk to a lot of Minnesota homeschool moms, and winter is tough. And I'm here to tell you that if you want to keep your winter like a little bit happier, doing science experiments indoors, awesome thing. It does. It keeps the
Good.
time moving. It keeps the kids engaged.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's like when it's 40 below zero and they can't get outside for 3 or 4 days in a row, and
Yep.
it's killing you. Grabbing some experiments, putting on Dr. Fizzlebop on YouTube and having the kids kind of
Yes.
walk through is just an awesome way to eat up that time. And they're learning and having fun at the same time. And that's kind of the whole goal, correct?
Yeah, and Dale, the cool thing is, and we like to say this a lot, is 99%, don't quote me 100%, but 99% of the ingredients you need to conduct these experiments are actually in your pantry. The idea
Absolutely.
will kitchen table science. You have in your pantry, it's not going to be a lot of expense or a lot of
Mhm.
prep and planning. In this one specifically, when you go through that, and we're going to plug both because I think it
Yes.
helps make the connection of the Dr. Fizzbot world. These are super simple experiments in here. You read the book, you probably have everything at home to do it. The same goes here for the Faith and Science of Dr. Fizzbot devotional. And what makes this one nice for parents that have middle graders or elementary kids is there is not only the unpacking of the science and Dr. Fizzbot, what's happening, but
Yeah.
there's also a devotional. So you can really take time in your spiritual Bible time together
Mhm.
and your time doing experiments to connect that with your kids all the way through in a time of reflection for them. And again, everything's there. Our goal was to make something, Dale, that parents can do in 5 to 15 minutes
Yeah.
with stuff right there in their house. No prep needed. Go to your pantry, grab out your baking soda, grab out your vinegar, okay? grab out your plastic water bottle or any bottle will work and your balloon. And guess what you have? My favorite experiment in the world, a fizz inflator.
I
So
love it.
it's all there with very super simple ingredients for you.
Yeah. I think the thing that I like about your devotional book is there's 52 devotionals, 52 experiments, which is one a week. And
Yes.
oftentimes as homeschoolers, first of all, it's usually the mom that's home with the kids homeschooling all day and dad's working. But there are those that have the dad
Yep.
homeschooling and mom's working. But at any rate, usually it's one parent is home engaging and educating the kids, and the other parent is off making a living so that they can continue to pay
Sure.
the bills. And so having a devotional that's geared towards the family that includes an awesome science experiment and an awesome interactive activity, doing that once a week as a family where that parent who doesn't get to be involved in the fun
Mm.
learning can be
Yes.
involved and not only just be involved, but lead it is such a
Yes.
great way for them to engage in your child's education, but also for the kids to see that both parents are on the same page, on the same, this is how it
Yes.
works. Our family is a family of learning. We bring God into everything that we do. We use the word of God for everything. And I think that your devotional book is perfect. If you want to see, this is the thing. I wanted to do this at Christmas time for this. I'm going to get on my little soapbox with you, Dr. Fizzlebop, but um you guys, we look for Christmas gifts for our family. Get Christmas gifts for kids, Christmas gifts for nieces, nephews, whatever. You cannot give a better gift than family time with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is like
Well
the
said.
ultimate thing. So finding things like that you can do, like we can give our kid a toy that they want and it's great and their little face lights up and it's so much fun. And for like a day or two or a week or two or maybe even a month or two, it's the best thing ever. But we all know that that toy loses its glitter and luster and all that very quickly. But when
Mhm.
you give them books like these and you give them devotionals like the one that Dr. Fizzlebop has, yes, you're giving them the gift of time with their parent,
Amen.
learning, just amazing family connection and deep roots into the Word of God and science, which who'd
Yeah.
have thought I'd ever love science because I never did as a kid, but I do love it. But I just think that that's something that you want to think about doing.
Yeah.
Like, are their faces going to light up when they open up and see a book? I mean, maybe, maybe not. They're like, is mom trying to put my school books under the Christmas tree? But it doesn't have to be like that. You put in like you make a science box and you put those books in there along with everything that they need to make those experiments so
Yes.
it's done. And you set up a little lab for them and it's the family lab and it's an opportunity for your family to interact. I just think things like that are just so important. And so this is why I wanted to have him on because I thought Christmas is a great time to bring that in. Right?
Yes, and what you said is so true. So, I when I speak at homeschool conventions as well. And when I go speak, I always kind of call out the dads because I'm a dad, and so I don't want to call out moms because I think moms work really hard all the
Yeah.
time, and sometimes, well, often are underappreciated, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And so, I know at my own home with my wife, sometimes dads get that kind of a pass, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm working, so I'm gonna do this." No, dad, you're wrong, buddy. So I'm just gonna call the dad for a second here, and I'll call them out from stage. I'll say, "Listen, we've made this so easy for you to be the hero in your home. Grab the Faith and Science Dr. Fizzbop. The science is in here. You don't be intimidated by science. You say, Dr. Fizzbop, what's happening? And you read the paragraph. It's all there. You're gonna look like the hero and the one who knows the stuff.
I love
And
that.
spending time with those kids around the kitchen table for even 15 minutes puts you in a position in their houses. My dad cares. He's spending time
Yeah.
with me. You've made it so easy for you to do. So I love, Dale, that you highlighted that because that is a win for moms and for dads,
Yeah.
but often for dads. And I said, okay, this convention ends today. This last part of the convention tomorrow after church. When you get home, you take this book, you go to your pantry, you grab the supplies and be the hero and get your kids gathered around, no matter what they're doing. Call them into the kitchen together and do one experiment and do that once a week. And you're going to see your relationship with them flourish over the next year with that simple 15 minutes. Do I want you to spend way more than 15 minutes with your kids? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. But there's always a starting step. Dale, okay, I gotta go back. Remind me to go back to the box idea, the
Yeah.
Christmas box. I want to go back to that in a second. But that's the same thing with all these books and spending
Yeah.
time with your kids is as you build time, so we have friends often, and one came up to me today and said, so I took your advice and I started praying with my kids every night. Because in this book, it prompts you to pray. This is Bedtime in Noah's Ark that I'm holding up for those audio listeners. And it prompts you to pray. And every night I pray with my kids. And I told this to a group of moms that I was speaking to one time. And so I said, just take that moment and just pray with them. It sounds like a simple thing. You wouldn't need a reminder, but do it. Actively pray with each one individually before bed. Make that part of your routine. And this mom goes, I started doing that. And one day I was busy and putting that, and I kind of walked to the room. And they go, Mom, you didn't pray with me. And the next night, the other one said, Mom, you didn't pray with me. The thing is, when we get into repetition with our kids and we do things repeatedly with them, it becomes part of their routine. They need to do that. They want to do that. And they will remind you. Now that guilt will hit, oh, I forgot. Don't feel guilty. The point is you have now built that relationship that the kids are asking for. And that's everything. We want our kid to say, Dad, can we do one more experiment together? Can we learn about how God did that in the Garden of Eden and how he had connected that and named all the animals? What is that, Dad? What does that mean? Okay, well, let's go further in the devotional. Now let's go open our Bible and let's read the story of Adam and Eve. So the idea is just to slowly create these connections with these fun science experiments to our Bible that God created. His whole story is there. And as we create that repetition and time with parents and kids together, then they'll want to dig into the Word. And if they're digging into the Word with you, guess what? When they're high schoolers or college students leaving, there'll be this missing hole like, wait, I got to get in the Bible. I haven't read that story for a long time. I know there's a story in there about courage. I know there's a story about when being sad. Let me go look in the Bible and see what the Bible says. That is in their mind. And as they get older and maybe you're not right with them because they're off doing something else, they'll have a reminder to go back to the Word because their Father in heaven gave them the words and wisdom they need in the Bible. Okay, sorry, Dayle, that was my slight soapbox, but that's why this is so important. So important to find fun and exciting ways to interact with your kids and teach them about the world around them and connect it directly back to the world God created. So,
it opens up the door to conversation. It makes you somebody who is saying, I'm here. I'm opening this door up for you. And I want you to ask me these questions. And I want you to know that I will take the time to do that with you. And it becomes part of your family DNA. That you talk about these things, that you do fun things like this, and you'll be the family that people want to come and hang out with.
Yes,
you do, because you like grab the baking soda and the vinegar and you blow things up, and it's so much fun.
We made a vinegar at their house. I want to go back.
Exactly, exactly. They blew stuff up. Why don't we ever blow anything up? Anyway, so talk about the Christmas box. You had something you wanted to say about that.
I liked what you said. You mentioned like, I didn't want to open up this book, or Mom, why are you putting school stuff into me? And you started to allude already to it. So I think what you said is exactly right. Do one of two things. Take a box, put the book in it, and then put the supplies you need to do 3 or 4 experiments in that box. So when they open up, get them a lab coat, stick a lab coat in there, put in some fun goggles, do little things like that. And you can actually order the badge, the Fizzlebop badge. You can actually order that as well. The point is that if you make the science box and you wrap it up like a present, now it feels like something. Or if you don't want to do that, on Christmas morning, have it out on your kitchen counter, drape it over with some kind of blanket or something fun, and say, we got one more Christmas present, go open that. And right then there, when they open the Christmas present, do it together. We have one called the Fizzing Christmas Tree, which is super simple science. It's really fun, and it's a great holiday celebration. And even baking a cake for Jesus on his birthday is science. Baking is science. All these things are great ways to explore science together that can make books like this not feel just like school, but feel like something fun and a real gift of time, right?
Yes.
Do that.
Yep. I love that. Well, you guys, we have one more experiment for you, and it's from Alphabet and Animals, correct?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. I'm glad
Thank
you.
You. So, because I've been wanting to hear this cluck from a cup. I read this and I was like, dude, that is so cool. How? I can't even wrap my brain around how this works, but see this, guys, this is what it looks like in the book.
And that's Waverly up there. The rocket one was Declan. So again, my kiddos, they make appearances all the time.
I love that.
In these fun,
it's a family thing.
That's the goal. And I know you said we're going to do this animals and outfits. I want to mention Counting Colors real quick, because these 2 ones, weather and space, that's like, okay, big science concepts to explore. And we want little kids at an early age to explore those concepts, right? And these ones are a little more simple, right? Well, we all want our kids to learn colors and their numbers and alphabet, but that's still science. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. That's all included. And these books, and even the beautiful artwork itself, it just shows how to explore the full world of STEAM in their courses. So Oh, these are great. These are kind of the core books, right? Animals, alphabets, colors, countings. There's ones kids need. But the science and weather, they step you up to a new area.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's nothing better. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to learn what that was like. And so, anyways, I just want to plug that because they're meant to be stepping stones, and we do plan to do more and explore more science concepts. So we'll keep growing that. But for you, Dayle, for you.
I'm so excited. I want to hear this.
This is so fun. Again, parents, super simple. Do you have a paper clip at home? Probably. Do you have some string at home? Don't use nylon. Cotton string is the best. Do you have a plastic cup of some sort that you can, it doesn't have to be a solo cup. It can be any kind of plastic cup, water, and paper towels. That's all you need to make chicken sounds from a cup. Cluck from a cup is what we like to call it.
That's
So
fun.
when I ask kids, I said, what does a chicken sound make? And they'll do flap their wings and they'll do rooster caws and they'll do clucking. I said, do you think I can make that come out of this cup? They're like, no, that's crazy. Because it is crazy. Here's what we're going to do. So you poke a little hole in the top of your cup with a nail or a pin, something like that, and you put the string through the hole in the top of the cup. Again, if you're on the audio, I'm going to try to explain it to you. But if you're on the video, you can see us
Y'all
doing
are
it.
missing it if you're not checking out the YouTube channel. I'm just
So
saying.
if you're listening in your car, watch it later, right? Listen to this episode and then go watch it later. Then you tie a paper clip or some sort of anchor to the top of the string, okay? So this should be on the outside of the cup. And then inside the cup, the string comes down to the inside of the cup. And now we've got it hanging like this, okay? We're going to simply take a paper towel. And this might be a little bit bigger than I want, but I'm going to fold it over a couple times. And I'm going to get it in some water. We don't want to soak it because we don't want it to disintegrate. But we just want to get it wet enough that it has some water on it, okay? So here we go. I've got my thing. I folded up my paper towel. It's got some water on it, some moisture on it. I'm going to hold this up, and then I'm going to squeeze, not too tightly, the string, and I'm going to go down in short, quick jerks. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Nell, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a clucking chicken.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So it is so fun, and it's repeatable. This this one you see right here with this string paper clip are from when I wrote Dr. Fizzlebop back in 2020. This is the same one. You can use this over and over and over again. Get new paper towels, get new water, and you've got cluck from a cup all day long. Now, Mom and Dad, I'm sorry, you may want to hide these and put them on top of your fridge eventually.
They're waking you up on Christmas morning with cluck in a cup.
We should wake you up all the time. No. So anyhow, there's a lot of fun to have, but that's clucking the cup. And those are the kind of super simple experience that are included in Super Simple Science with Dr. Fizzlebop. We want it to be so simple. And listen, what 0 to 4-year-old toddler isn't going to think that is amazing?
It makes
and their
great
eyes are going to
noise.
go, their eyes are just going to go big. Wow. The last one we're going to talk about is called the Walking Rainbow. And what's fun, that's in counting in colors. And what's fun about that one is you will actually, with 3 colors, teach them the secondary colors. So you'll take the primary colors and with water, red, yellow, and blue, you will make all the colors and make a rainbow. And they'll see water actually be absorbed up over the cups and into the next cup to make color. It is a beautiful experiment. And I always like to tell kids that practice is my absolute favorite and least favorite thing. Patience. Something I often don't have, but you need to have it for this experiment. But when kids see what happens and you have them name the colors and you have them guess what colors are going to be made in between, it is a wonderful experiment of learning.
I love it.
So I want to plug that one too. But yes, Dayle, for you, cluck from a cup. There it is.
I liked that one. I liked that one. Now, the walking rainbow, the other thing I want to say is that, guys, that also is art because you're talking about secondary colors, primary colors, and how that all blends together. Because, I mean, we're always trying to go, what color makes green? You know, because that's something they have to learn. And this is a great way for them to learn that too. You guys, these books are just amazing. And we did say that we were going to give them away. Okay. So we have this set right here. It's in my hands. It's going to go to somebody who's listening. I'm going to be now in the description of this podcast is a way to contact us. The first person to email me that they listened to this episode is going to get this set of books. The whole set. They're all going to get it all. And you know what? If this is going to come out, before Thanksgiving, which means you will have these books before they even come out to be bought. You will be like trendsetter. And so if you are somebody who's if you're somebody who's listening and has preschoolers, these books, you want them. I'm telling you. I'm actually jealous because I want to get these for my grandbabies, which I'm going to do because they love these kinds of things. And I have 2 new little grandsons who are young and board books are exactly their thing. And I'm like, this is perfect for them for Christmas. Because we always do.
Your boys girls liked them, right? You said
Both
both
my
the
boys
boys
and
and
girls
the
liked
girls.
them. Yeah, my little granddaughters thought they were so cute and so much
Yeah.
fun, and I think my oldest granddaughter is 6 and her sister is 4. So then they thought they
Oh,
were great and they wanted to do the experiments with me, we just weren't able to do them, um but man, I tell you, they were engaged and they really liked them.
I
So,
love it.
and I think the same thing with our grandsons, it's just yeah, they just are so great and they loved it. But you guys want these, you do, and so I'm gonna put all the information, everything, like always, that we talk about on this podcast is in the description of this podcast. I'm super excited to bring these books to you guys. You might recognize Brock from other podcasts that we have done with him and we're gonna do again. Um, I mean, Dr. Fizzlebop, he just looks just like Brock Eastman. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, and so he, it's just very I'm super excited about these books, you guys. And so anyways, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
really
Anytime.
do.
I love being on this with you, Dale. Anytime. I'm happy
Yeah,
to hop on. Even if you just want to do a fun experiment together and not even talk about anything else, I'll get on and do an experiment with you
I
anytime.
love
It's a
it.
blast.
I love it. We probably will wind up doing that because I've got a few questions. Um, so, anyways, but yeah, so you guys just go ahead. The first person to email the email address that's in the description of this podcast, the first person to email me and say they listened to this whole thing and they want the board books and send me their address, they will be getting those. Okay. So,
Love it.
super excited. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Fizzlebop, for coming. Make sure you let Brock know that I appreciate him too. And
Thank you.
yeah, we just want to thank all of our listeners. Thank you guys so much for taking time to be with us. I hope you guys enjoy these books. I really want you to get them. They're amazing and they're very well priced, you guys. They're not going to break the bank. Christmas Eve is a good time to give books to kids. These are great books to give. So, yeah, we always give our grandkids Christmas pajamas and a book for Christmas. These are great.
That's good.
Yep.
Love that. I
Yep.
love I
Every
love
year.
because
Every year. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here on another Monday or Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.